So I'm going to call the meeting to order. Is everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Yep.
First order of business is to approve the minutes from July 22nd meeting that we long outstanding. I was not at the meeting. I have read the minutes. They seem fine to me, but Ron, any comment?
No, I'd make a motion to accept the minutes as presented. Unless Jen has an objection.
No, I don't. No, I was there.
Okay.
They're fine.
All right.
Okay.
So Jen, you want to second it?
Yes, I'll second it.
All right. So the minutes for the July 22nd meeting will go on to record. The other thing we need to start doing is
Vote,
to, what's that?
vote, vote.
You still have to vote to accept the minutes?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
It's okay. But you
I'm
might,
not a-
you might need to abstain since you weren't there.
Yeah, I wasn't there, so. They made a motion, they seconded it, and I wasn't there.
You gotta call the vote.
You just say all in favor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
There
Aye.
you go.
Sorry. Out of habit here. Next,
Call the opposed and call the abstaining. Is anybody, you've got to ask if anybody's opposed and if anybody's abstaining.
but there's only two of them.
You got to do it for the record.
Anybody opposed?
No.
Anybody standing?
You-
Jane, I can see your finger, I can't hear you.
You're abstaining.
Yes, I am. The next order of business is to appoint Jane to the Ethics Commission.
Okay.
Do I have a motion?
Yeah, I make a motion that we appoint Jane Cable to the Ethics Commission.
Thank you, Ron. Do I have a second?
I'll second that. Yes.
Any opposed? And, all right, so Jane is appointed to the Ethics Commission.
Can you
Um,
ask, can you call all in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Elections of officers. I know in July, officers were appointed, but then things have taken a turn and changed. Ron, are you still willing to stay on as vice chairman?
I wasn't elected as vice chairman, or
Oh, I have written down here for,
Dwayne was. So the minutes, as the minutes state, Dwayne was
oh,
assigned as vice chair and Jen as recording secretary.
okay, are you both willing to stay on in your positions?
I won't be able to. No.
Okay, so Jen,
Dwayne's not here.
right, he resigned.
And Dwayne resigned.
So Ron, do you want to? So Jen, you're a no on secretary?
Correct.
Okay, Ron? Would you like to step up to vice chair or chairman?
Yeah, I mean, is that where we're going to start as far as election of officers?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just kind of running the meeting. I know Jane. Are you still there? Jane?
Mhm. Yep,
Now that you've been appointed, do you want to step into the vice chairman or the chairman position?
sure.
Okay, Ron, do you want to step up to one of them also?
Yeah, based on the notes from before, the emails before, I understood that Jane was interested in the chairman's position.
Correct.
Okay, I'm willing to step into the vice chair position.
Okay,
Need a secretary. Gotta have a secretary.
understood. So Jane,
I'm gonna get you out of your jam. I haven't been sworn in. Why don't you make me temporary chair? Make Ron the vice chair, and why don't you take temporary secretary for now? I have two people who are willing to come on.
okay. When, obviously, now that you've been appointed, you can be sworn in tomorrow or whenever.
Whenever Vicky has time.
Right. So then I will step in as the temporary chair. Ron, are you okay with doing vice chair?
Yes.
Um, and then Jane, for right now, secretary, even though you haven't been
No.
sworn in, and then we'll flip flop it.
No, 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 that's not what I said. You can make me chair-elect. You can make me temporary chair. I'm not here to be secretary.
Okay, well, I'm just going to step in to say just somebody needs to take the notes for tonight at least.
Mike is. I see him writing.
All right. So as far as tonight is concerned, we have appointed Jane to the Ethics Commission. Ron has volunteered to step up to the vice. Jen does no longer want to be the secretary. And Jane is willing to be the chairman, vice elect, or whatever.
Think of me as Joe Biden.
All right. So all right. Does anybody see a solution here?
I think the solution is you agree to be temporary secretary. And then we have a full slate. You can vote on it, and at the next meeting, firm up the positions.
Yep. No, I hear your point. Ron, any input?
No, I'm fine with that.
Oh, throw me under the bus.
Jane, did you say that you had a couple of people that want to join the committee?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
All right. So we'll go forward with that. When Jane is sworn in. She'll be chairman. Ron will be vice. I'll be secretary. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Besides me? All right, so moving forward, the ethics complaints that came forward, the way I'm reading it was over the summer. I never saw one. I never heard anything about one. And I know it's in the minutes that it was brought up on July 22nd. I was not at that meeting, so I cannot speak to that. Ron or Jen?
I was at that meeting and Bob spoke with Dennis and he had never gotten anything prior to that meeting. Bob had not seen any complaint prior to that meeting. And he was going to address it the following week. And Bob was injured over that weekend, and that's why it was never addressed.
Okay,
Bob's been laid up ever since. But he had
Okay.
all good intentions of addressing it.
okay, Jen, thank you. Ron, anything?
No, that's what I recall as well.
Yep.
And-
And Dwayne said he had never seen anything prior to that meeting either, so.
Okay, and
Vicky seems to think that it's in Bob's possession, the original ethics complaint, and there's probably not a good way to get it from him. So I was wondering if Dennis had kept a copy of his complaint.
Yes, I did.
I knew it.
Dennis, Michael O'Brien, do you know
Yes.
when you filed that complaint?
I filed it in June, at your June meeting. And that was a 15-minute meeting, so it got postponed until the July meeting. And formally, I filed my complaint, and I also gave Bob 2 copies of 2 complaints from the August 11th meeting of 2019, held in the town hall, that were never acted on by the previous administration.
Okay. Do you have copies of those?
I'm pretty sure I still have those copies.
Okay, so,
I understand Bob was injured, but what I don't understand is, here it is, it's now December. I filed it 5 months ago, okay? And there were 4 people in attendance from the Ethics Commission back in July. And in any military organization, if the lieutenant falls because he's killed, the sergeant takes the place and works that magic until you can find a replacement. And I understand, I know Bob has had a very tough time this past year and a half. So I understand, but I mean, here we are in December and we're just looking at members. This is supposed to happen quickly or as judicious as possible. And this isn't. So, I mean, if somebody wants me to email the complaint, do I mail it to Jane or Vicky, or how do you guys want me to do it? Because this is getting real old in the tooth, and it's something of importance. I mean,
Vicky,
it's a definite violation of town ordinances.
Vicky is not interested in keeping a copy of the complaint because she's aware of the confidentiality.
Okay.
If you could get it to me,
Sure.
And my email is janecable@sbcglobal.net. And I won't look at it until I'm sworn in.
Okay. All right.
And Dennis, you are absolutely correct. The way it's worked in the past is you submit it, it goes to the commission, we look at it and we meet. This has been way too long. Yes, I agree with you. I understand your frustration. But all we can do is move forward from here.
Understand. I understand, and the frustration is that I didn't receive any email. There's been no your minutes haven't been timely. Your agendas haven't been. You can't do an agenda at 8 o'clock in the morning for a meeting at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. That's against policy, against state policy.
It's against the Freedom of Information Act.
I mean, I couldn't make, even though the meeting was canceled, I couldn't stop on a dime to attend that meeting, even by WebEx. So it is what it is, and I understand, and the complexion is all different. And I've known Jane for a long time. I know her husband very well, and I believe this has to be settled, and it has to be settled as fast as possible, because there are gross violations of ethics in that complaint.
Okay.
Gross violations.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Understood.
Yep.
Dennis, so these, as my count is at 3 complaints, is that correct in total?
I filed my complaint. Okay. And then there were 2 complaints that were filed last August.
Right.
There was an August meeting at the town hall, and the selectmen at the time, they were addressing an issue that we had at the town hall during a meeting, and they filed it. It never got adjudicated, never got listed. They were never called for anything. These happened to be summer residents, so they thought, town politics is town politics. It'll get swept under the rug, and unfortunately, it did. And they asked me if I could give Bob the paperwork, and I gave Bob the paperwork. There are two residents. I can name both of them if you like.
No.
Okay.
No, that's fine. Could you contact them and have them resubmit?
Well, one is no longer a resident in the state. He sold in September, and he resides in Florida. So
Okay.
I would venture a guess to say that would be a non-issue. Okay. If I have a copy of their complaint form, I would be more than happy to forward it to you. I was at that meeting. I totally understand why they filed a complaint, and it should have gone against a number of people there, because it was gross incompetence holding a meeting. So,
Okay.
all right, mine is different than theirs. Mine is totally different from theirs.
Okay.
Okay.
Um,
And Jane, I'll fire it off if you want. I can hold off. If
It's okay. Whenever it's convenient.
okay.
I would say the sooner the better. Then we
Sure.
can, as soon as Jane is sworn in, then we can all look at it and go forward from there. So I went back through all my emails and all my paperwork. I do not have a copy of your complaint.
Yep, I understand. I remember that date specifically because it was the meeting after the 15-minute meeting because there was nobody there and I couldn't file anything because I think it was just Bob and one other person. And he said, when we have a meeting, file it then. And then I did. And I handed him I had 2 copies of the other resident's complaint and mine. And I gave him that. And I was waiting for, naturally the next meeting to proceed so I could spell everything out.
Right, understood.
Now, do you want me to send it to you, Mike, as the temporary secretary also? It's totally up to you because if
No, I would.
the only reason why I say is because if you're sworn in with Vicky and Jane and Vicky can't get together, it's your call. I don't care.
We'll get together.
Town hall.
Okay.
Attention Ethics Commission Chair. And by the time it gets there, Jane will be sworn in and Vicky can hand it to her.
Okay.
And then Jane can let us all know she has it
Good.
and then we'll move forward with that.
Good.
Yes. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep. That's fine
Fine.
with me. And if you
And
want,
again,
I'll just mute myself and listen in.
No, and thank you. And I apologize for the delay. The other ethics complaints, I guess we wait and see if they come back across our table.
Well,
I don't-
Dennis may have them.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have at least one, if not both of them.
Okay.
Well,
And
if
it was
you-
out of frustration that, whoops.
No, go ahead.
You muted yourself. Unmute.
All right, so if he submits those, Jane, they'll go to town hall and you'll be sworn in and then Vicky will call you when they come in.
Yep.
Then you can let us all know and then we can move forward on those complaints.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Okay, the faster these minutes are posted, the quicker I can get sworn in. Vicky will not swear me in without minutes saying I was voted in.
I understand that.
I'll check with her tomorrow because we do have a meeting, a video recording. So I can check with her and see what she says.
Okay, thank you.
Can hear the baby in the background. Moving on, other business. Ron, do you have anything?
I do not.
Jen,
Nope.
Jane?
If this isn't too obtrusive, I read the Code of Ethics. I'm a registered Democrat. The 2 people I talked to who were interested are registered Democrats. 3 is the maximum from one party.
Right.
Is anybody else on the commission a registered Democrat?
Well, that takes me to other business.
Yeah.
We need to get alternates. We need to fill this commission because our inability to get a quorum to have a meeting is, in my opinion, it shouldn't happen. I'm an independent.
Good.
I have not looked at Democrats and Republicans since I was the chair. And I can honestly say I don't know right now,
How about Ron?
but we are going to have to take a look at that. And we are going to have to find alternates to fill the positions.
Well, what is the full slate? Is it 5?
Yes.
So one of the people, Jane, that you're proposing either needs to be an alternate or one of either Mike or Jen or I need to be an alternate, and that person needs to be on the commission. So just to understand that. And then as I understand it, there's 2 more alternate positions open beyond that.
One can't proceed until January, until her current term on zoning is up. She's an alternate on zoning right now. She will be an incredible addition to the commission. I think you'll be impressed. The other one is Gil Susi, who's very bright and very organized. And I think he's a good one for full member. And he is a registered Democrat.
Okay. I mean, when those people are ready to serve, they're, I think if the minutes indicate from July that Jen and I are on 3-year terms, and I'm not sure when that starts. And Mike, yours I don't know what yours is based on you not being at the meeting and not having a discussion about when your term expires. But at the point where those people are available, as I said, one or the other one of them would have to be an alternate.
That's
So, okay. I'm a Republican, so I think we're fine there.
there's no
I'm also a
problem.
Republican.
Yeah, there's no problem.
Yeah, but
So-
moving forward, we're going to have to, excuse me, keep track of that so there is a balance.
Right.
And moving forward, if there are people who want to step up, I don't mind stepping back and being an alternate and then letting new people step in. I'm not opposed to that.
Okay.
As I think maybe in the spring, it'd be a good time to go over the code of ethics and see if improvements can be made to it.
Yep.
Maybe council would look at it.
Yeah, no,
Right
there was a small group of us with the town attorney, Jack Collins, who started to go back through it. And then, 2020 hit and here we are.
I think one of the problems is the code of ethics says it will be the town attorney who's counsel to the ethics commission. I think the ethics commission should be able to choose its own counsel. Sussman Shapiro wrote the ethics code, and I don't think they have fresh eyes to look at what needs improving.
Okay, well, that's something we can look at going down the road.
Yep.
Any other business?
I have a question if I
I
could.
know yes.
Okay, there was a blurb in one of the agendas, and I don't know if it was the October agenda that got canceled, and that was the schedule of meeting dates.
Yep.
And when I was looking at the Ethics Commission going back to 2018 and 16, They only met 3 times a year.
There
Yeah,
is no schedule.
There is no
There's only-
schedule?
No,
Okay,
it meets as needed, except for the organizational meeting. That's the only scheduled meeting.
we have 2 scheduled meetings a year.
two
And
scheduled.
then we meet as needed.
Okay,
Because we were meeting every month and there was no reason up until that point or this point. And so it was to, designate our budget and schedule the meetings for the next year.
okay. And then one last, the officers are chair, vice chair, secretary, and treasurer, and
No,
then
No,
alternates.
there is no treasurer.
There's no treasurer.
No, we have a line item with the town of, when I was chair, it was $25 just in case we needed something. It was there. And then they would,
Gotta
That
be
won't
over.
even-
we could go from there.
that won't buy dinner.
That's why I said it was a line item.
Okay. The only reason why I ask is because, here I've been waiting since July, and I'm saying, if they don't meet but 3 times a year, I mean, this ethics complaint might as well go straight to the Attorney General's office in Hartford. I mean, that was my next go around, was the Attorney
What-
General's office in Hartford, and I didn't think the town of Old Lyme really wanted to do that. So
No, I mean, I can speak to that. The only reason we had meetings scheduled a couple times a year is because we went years without complaints. And once we get a complaint, then we have to act on it. So
Okay.
once we received a complaint, then we would act on it and meet as needed. But there was no need for us to keep meeting every month when there wasn't a complaint.
okay.
And that is that's your right if you want to bring it to the state.
Well, I mean, in my conversation with Vicky last week, she understood my angst with this whole process, and she understood that if I had to go to the state, I would be more than well
Justified?
justified to do it.
No, I
And
absolutely.
I understand everybody is a volunteer. As Jane can attest, Peter and I were on the same building committee for the high school for 10 years.
Correct.
10 years. And I was driving from my home in Newington. So, I mean, it was I understand the kind of situation you're in, but, we need to fix this. And like I said, this is a gross violation by a commission member, not ethics commission, another commission.
Please tell me it's not zoning.
It's not zoning, not this time. You don't have to worry anymore as of last week.
No, you gotta sit out 3 years from when you leave a commission to hear an issue with an ethics issue with that commission.
No. Okay, so that's my whole spiel. And now the question is, you can't get my complaint from Bob, correct? That's what you need. I'm concerned about my request.
What's the concern?
Well, I mean, there are sections in my complaint that totally spell out where the violations occurred.
Okay, But you have a full copy.
I
that
have
you
a full
can-
copy. Yeah.
So what's the concern that it's
Oh,
not?
no, I didn't know if Bob was ever going to come back, or, it was just going to sit on his desk at home, that type of thing.
Well, we
Mike-
can make that inquiry. I can make that inquiry again to see if he can locate it, or if Sue can locate it. And I can report back to the commission on whether we're able to find it or not.
Okay. All right. Okay, that's all I have.
Thank you.
Okay, and thank you for getting
Putting
this
up
thing
with
back
you.
on track.
If it were not for you, it wouldn't be on track.
Well,
You-
it's very frustrating, I've never had to do this in the whole time that I've lived down the shore as an ethics complaint. And when two got filed last year, 2019, and were never acted on, it's, it puts a real sour taste in your mouth as to why does the town have this commission? This is a extremely important commission, and not hearing anything, it kind of just, I went off, being Sicilian, I went off the deep end, and we're back on track, and we'll get this thing taken care of.
Good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dennis.
Dennis, thank you for your time. Any other business? Ron,
No, nothing on my end.
Mhm.
Jen,
No.
anything?
Nope.
Jane, anything you know of coming?
Thank goodness, no. But I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second
Love you
that.
already.
Jen's right there.
Do I have a second?
Yeah,
I
Jen.
second it, yep,
Oh, I'm sorry.
that's okay.
All right, guys, thank you. Have a great night.
You too, Mike, thanks.
Gotta ask for votes.
All in favor, Mike?
All in favor?
Aye.
Jen gone?
Jen's gone, Jane's gone.
All
So.
right. Well, I'll second it. Oh, yeah.
You got through it.
right.
Oh. All right, guys. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you for your
Have a good night. Bye, everybody.
night.